How goes it? Let's just get everything in the right place. Just move my camera a sec. Hang on. There we go. That looks about right. Let's just switch the other speaker off. Hang on. Nice. Let's open the can of energy drink. Ah, bonjour. Ahoy. How goes it? Yeah. Let's see if we've got the camera in the right place. That looks about right to me. I think we're all caught up. Oh no. And get well soon, Ben. I'm sending positive vibes from Pirate Island. And if it all gets too much, just grab the rum. That's the only thing I can think of. But although it must be said, really, it depends what medicine you're in. Yes, this is one selected by Darren from Gripping Beast. It's one of his. He's got a little soft spot for this one, I think. It is the Scots Warlord SS01B, and it's an amazing price of £3.50. This miniature, and I'm looking forward to painting this one. He's been out collecting heads, and it looks like he's just found himself a new one. So it's all one piece except for the weapon, obviously. Didn't take much cleaning up at all. So all stuck on the base. There was a little bit of flash on the head, but I've decided to leave that there. When I put all the blurred effects on it, I thought it'd be quite cool to have it dripping off there. Right, enough natter. You come to see some painting, and that's what we're going to do. So first of all, we're going to load. That's what I did on the miniature. It's been undercoated as usual with a Vallejo airbrush primer, black with a zenithal grey over the top. Like that. The base is just an ordinary pumice, and I've painted it earlier so it's dry for when we're painting. The white goop I've just put in there from there, because I always get asked these questions, is just a matte medium I mix up, which I've promised Rich for ages to do a video on, and I will, because it's really important. But not at the moment. Okay, let's let's start off with Moonstone Skin. Give it a good shake. We're using the Fanatic paint, which I'm certainly getting into now. It took a little while. I did like the others, so but not universally popular, but I like them. Okay, so we're just gonna bit of medium. Just using a cheapy brush at the moment. So yeah, this is one of their older. I think the Scots were one of the first saga warbands. So I don't know if this miniature's. He's a bee. The other warlord's quite similar actually, similar pose, different pose, but similar stature. If it's a chunky fella. So just laying down this moonstone. Moonstone? Is it recalled Moonstone? Yes, Moonstone Skin. Yeah, the still my favourite thing about these new paints is the descriptions on the bottles. Brilliant. Just love it. Don't get me wrong. I love a silly named paint, but for actually helping you find the right paint, that little description is perfect. I was looking for a good paint for a zombie flesh tone earlier, and I went over to the beiges and found this one called Urban Buff. Very pale brown. And it's very much like, is it Rakar Flesh from GW? It was perfect colour. And with the other funny names, I'd have never found it. But if you get something in your head that I want a certain colour paint, and without going to the hassle of mixing it, which we could do, very descriptive, just put you in the right ballpark. Ah, hello, Mr. Go For It. GF to his friends. Or girlfriend. No, that doesn't work, does it? So just lay. These are quite fresh heads, so they've still got a lot of. We're going to do stuff to them as we go along. We're just going to whack this. Use this one flesh all the way over to start. Because it's good to have somewhere to start from. I don't know what's happening with my PC tonight. It's go crazy. That's just a massive gash in his back. It looks suspiciously like a sword cut, not an axe cut. So perhaps he's just cleaned this one. But who's going to argue, eh? So I leave that one like that. So next we shall grab gunmetal metallic. So we can lay that down and it can start drying. This gives that flesh we're using as a base time to dry. So we're not going to mess around too much. We're going to get this one done because there's lots to play around with later on. So we're going to get the base done. So as you saw, I just put a little bit of medium into the brush there. It just helps the You don't want your metallic too watery, but that medium just lets it run off your brush. I'm using one of my older brushes here that the tip's gone on, because A, the metallic damages it, and B, the chainmail. So it's a double whammy of pain for your brush. Don't use your nice brushes on that, because you'll kill them. So what's everyone been up to this week? Anything, any good hobbying going on? I know Ben's been ill. Hopefully, have you been well enough to do any hobbying to keep your mind off it, Ben? Or has it been one of those proper man flu situations? Just going to lay down. I've noticed these metallics, even if you want to put some other colour on it, they do cover each other really well. So sometimes I paint it all gunmetal, and then just, if you want a different metallic over the top, you can just boop. Yeah. We'll leave this buckle and the sword bit there. We'll do that in gold. Okay. Oh, I missed his hand. No one told me I missed his hand. Although I expect there'd be a bit of a ballad on there. Remember teaching one of my sons to paint with his mate, and they got very excited about painting, and they just wanted to cover everything in blood, so they just painted everything red. So all the good work they'd done soon got rubbished by all this red paint, but they enjoyed it, which is the main thing. Okay, I'm going to do 2 different tarns. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay down a darker green and a lighter green. So I'm going to use angel green. It's quite a dark green. Yes. See what I did there? I'm getting better at not putting too much paint out, because so I've now changed the colour of my lamp. Hang on. I've still not used to having the touch buttons on the lamp thing, so sorry about that, guys. Did I go back onto the right one there? Let's just go for a flash. It'll be a bit dusky for a minute. 2, 3, 4, 5. I like this lamp, but it's when.
Ooh. I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Ooh.
Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to settings.
That's a surprise. One of my old Kindles got charged up earlier. Obviously, it decided to speak to me at that point, which is not unnerving at all. So yeah, so we're just filling that green out with the medium. You've got great coverage on these phonetic paints, so you can thin a lot. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to go, because he's a very dark age, so there's I'm not going full on tartan, but we're going to give it hints. So I was going to do his sleeves in white, but I think I'm going to do them the same as that green there. As you see, now I've got the consistency right on the thinness, as it were. Now you can start seeing the undercoat showing through. Wet palette helps, but the matte mediums, they're doing all the heavy lifting at the moment. But if you leave them on there a little while there, the wet palette thins them nicely. There's a big shout for putting all the colours you're going to use out right at the start. And let the wet palette do its job. There we go, so that's that green. Ahoy, Rich! So once we've got that green on, now we're going to whip over to the speed paints and grab the Crusader Skin, which I'm using as my flesh wash. That's on my computer today. It's going crazy. So just again let the brush be a little bit damp with the medium. I'm just going to hit all the fleshy areas. This is a cracking little miniature. It really is a little hidden gem. This is what we were looking for. £3.50. I can't believe it. It's just a bargain, isn't it? I best not say anything to Lord S because he'll put the price up. It's the last convention I can't believe no one buys the whenever you order something you should order, what was it, the 1 point of Dark Age archers for £10. It's a no-brainer. Everyone should order, they should be put straight into the basket online. Okay, so now we want to, I'm going to go with Tundra Torp, a deep olive brown. God, this one's on a shake up. And it's not a brand new one because I've used, oh no, I've not used it very much. I noticed that when they're, once you get them all shook up, they're perfect. But yeah, they take a bit of shaking like the old ones do. Not quite as much. So we're going to do his cloak. So I usually do most of the jocks, and I'll do, sorry, Scots. I promise not to use that. I usually like to do the red or blue, so I thought I'd do like greens and browns in this one today. Yes. So what we've been up to today? Oh, today. Yeah, I've been painting zombie villages and also American War of Independent British. The zombies, I was very impressive actually. They were fire. Oh, sorry, grenadiers. Yes, thank you, Rich. Were they the right colours? That's a lovely colour, that Torp. I like that a lot. I think I've got them, they're just by my side there, actually. Want a quick look under the light. There we go. Doo-doo. I won't get them one out. But the zombies were really, I thought, wow, they're quite cartoony, but they were great fun to paint. And I got to play with all the my goopy effects paints and stuff. I thought they're really nice to paint the villagers, you know, which is cool. Yes. Okay, so where were we? Back at the ranch. Okay, let's get the black, sorry, dark tone, which is your black or your known oil. Oh, hello, motorbike. Summer's back. So we're just gonna, say, use the medium in this just to get it to running. You don't want too much in there, so I kind of do it as a brush at a time and let the wash go up into the brush that's full of medium. So it kind of mixes in the brush a bit. And then if I want it a bit darker, I can just put some pure wash on there. I said I don't mind it making it a little bit too dark because we're going to come back in with a silver anyway. So generally when I'm doing the dark tone on the metal, I do to go a little bit heavier than not, if you know what I mean. And like when I've done the zombies earlier and did the metal on those, instead of the dark tone I used the strong tone, which is the black with the dark brown mixed in, and it just makes everything look oily and dirty and stuff, which kind of works. So I'm just using the brush there to wick some of the excess away. Okay, and what we'll do now, that green's not quite dried on there, so we'll hang fire on that for a sec. Right, the guy on the floor. Let's do some wood first. Let's use oak brown. So getting used to the fact you don't have to put a lot of these paints out. It's very, a little bit goes a long way. Yes, as for the Griffin Beast site, I had an excited email from Lord S, who's managed to link, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, if you go to a miniature now that I've painted a video on, he's linking the videos to the miniatures, so that's pretty cool. So for instance, if you go to, I know he's done Athelstan, was it Athelstan? Yeah, it was Athelstan, wasn't it? Last Friday. He's actually linked the video on their website, which is kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to do the dead man's shoes for this brown as well. Well, he might not be dead at the moment, but seeing as our warlord here seems to be a bit of a head collector, I should imagine he's soon going to be. That's for sure. He's coming along quite well now. We're 27 minutes in. Look. So this is one of the flesh tones. This is Carnelian Skin, which is a very deep reddish brown, which is my new favourite leather colour. I shall show you. Although the leather brown's very good if you like that sort of light tan. Look to your leather. We'll do his shoes in that, shall we, so we can compare. Yeah, with a little bit of that medium in there, that this paint really flows well. I'm saying you've got so much coverage on it, you can water it down a lot. Just looking for other stuff I can use the other leather on there, so let's use some of this on the scabbard. Look how lovely that green is. Yeah, so with the where the coverage is so good on these, it means when you water it down to do your blending, or thin it out is a better word, when you thin for blending, you can just take it that bit further really, and then you kind of get smoother blends. So it's a bit like glazing in the end. That's what you're technically doing. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Okay, so now that green's pretty much dry. I'm feeling the tones tonight, so we're going to use the green tone. But with all these opportunities to blend, you could just carry on layering and then blend at the end if you wanted to, and just do it that way. Or you can never wash up with your own paints with a bit of, yeah. So it's given us lots of options, which is nice. So again, I'm going to load up with my medium, then go into that green. There's two in this. There's a green, and I think the other green's called Military Shader, which is brilliant on the, as it sounds, on like olive drab and that on tanks. I've used it, and camouflage, like World War II stuff. And that Military Shader is really, really cool. I think it's got like a brownier look to it. But this is just pure green. I'm going all over because I say we're going to do a bit of highlighting anyway. Let's get that Military Shader out and do his play with that so you can see the difference. Where is it gone? Ah, there we go. But this is the Military Shade. So it's a bit sort of, I think it's got a brown in it as well. So it's got that murkier colour, see what I mean? Don't want it sitting, don't want too much of it sitting there. Recesses, so we go back around in a minute and wick some of it away. Watch out for bubbles. See any bubbles on the surface like that? Just take them off your brush, because otherwise when they dry they pop. And so wicking it away, wash the brush out, dry your brush, and just wick it away until you got what you need. So we've done like just an all over, so it's like a filter, just so we can get these nice darker bits in there. Okay, so that's our green drying away. And I said I was going to get that leather out and I have to show you the different leather. That leather brown goes well with a Bootstrap Brown, so let's give it a base of Bootstrap Brown first. Reminds me of old GW Bestial Brown, which is cool. So let's just do this. I do like the range of browns they got in this paint range. Lots of them. And obviously, if you're trying to speed the process up, you don't use as many, but since we're painting warlords here, you spend a little bit more time on them. this on this guy's hair as well. Gone a bit onto his forehead there, so don't matter too much, just clean it up a bit. So I'll just, what I did there was wash the brush out, left it a little bit wet just to clean the paint off before it sets. There we go. So we're going to cover that with goop and gore later, so it's not amazingly important. Let's grab that leather paint now, which is a brown. Quite descriptive, that one. It's a good few tones up from the Bootstrap Brown. Oh, decent brush in it. I'm just going to put a bit of medium on it, just to make it nice. And so the more you thin that out, wash your brush out. Don't wash your brush out, you've got loads of pigment in your brush. So wash your brush out and then go back in for the thin down brown. Thin down brown. And we're just going to go across the toe. We're going to kind of almost stipple the brush on. So leaving areas of the darker brown showing. And we're looking at the areas that are being caught by the sun. So, can you see? Yeah. It's a nice, quick, easy shade. Sorry, highlight. We might use it on the dead man. Oh, hello. Can't they see I'm busy? So I'm just going to catch the top of his boots. See where he's got a darker brown on his boots? It just looks like they've got a bit muddy. So put some on the soles there as well. There we go. Okay, so this wood we did earlier was oak brown. So we go up to the next in the Triad to ancient tree. Sorry, tree ancient. If I'm painting a lot, I'll put the all three triads out on the wet palette, just so you can go back and forth. Again, I'm just gonna draw, stipple this a little bit. So we can have patches of the other colour showing through. Can just suggest that there's some grain going on there. The dog's bored because he's snoring at me now. Okay, so his belt we did in leather. We did the Carnelian Skin. Answers on a postcard. I don't know what Carnelian. I don't know. So we're going to go Tiger's Eye Skin, which is a deep reddish brown. The other one was a dark reddish brown. And we're just going to use that just to highlight the leather we put on. I'm not going to put any medium there. We'll just use the pad a little bit and just mix it on the wet palette. Get your brush into a nice point. And we're just going to go across that top edge of his belt. Yeah. So I'm using the side of the brush. The other way you can do it is if you hold it that way, you can use the edge of your brush like that. Just being gentle. We're not looking to go right along. If you can miss little bits, it actually works better. If you go right along, it doesn't fly. So now we're going to get a bit of medium. And I'm just going to put a little bit across there. That's kind of up on his leg. A little bit around there. A little bit on the edge of that pouch. And then on his sword scabbard, we're going to use the edge. So I've loaded up the paint, making sure I've not got too much in there. And we're just going to use the edge of the brush just to run along. Can you see that? Let's see if we can get it closer. So just gently, see a bit of edgy highlights. Space Marine painters will know this a lot. So I'm just going to use the edge of the brush, just gently touch it on. Doesn't have to go the full length, just partial. And just get the edges that are going to be catching light. There we go. Maybe that shows up. Just about, I think. Thank you, Stato. We got to think of a name. You need a nickname, Rich. Stato's wrong, isn't it? Oh. You're definitely my wingman on that. On the factoids. Factoids. Rich's factoids. So, for those that can't see the chat tomorrow, because it doesn't always pop up, Carnelian, also spelled Comelian, is a brownish red mineral commonly used as semi-precious stone. Wow. That's awesome, Rich. I'd be absolutely lost without you, buddy. Okay, where was I? I was completely lost. Okay, let's grab some greedy gold. Tonight's factoid. It's one of the radio programs that just have factoids, isn't it? Oh, that's a really manky brush. That needs to be thrown away, that one. Okay. So, I've grabbed the less manky of the manky brushes. And I'm just going to use it on just his belt buckle. A really nice gold, this. Yes, so the dog seems very impressed by that. Yeah, I took him out for a good run before the, now the weather's changed, before the feed started. So hopefully he'll sleep through it. That's the plan. No, I don't want you to restart computer. And on factoids, Norma Muller gets credit for coming up with the word factoid, which he used in 1973 biography of Marilyn Monroe. Good work. Fatman. That sounds like Fatman, which just sounds rude. Yeah, we can't use Factman. Oh man, we gotta think of a. I was thinking about using some gold on his lid, but I'm thinking of not as well. You know what I mean? We could edge it with gold. That look quite cool. I was wondering whether to put the panels in like leather, because that always looks cool as well. I think we'll have a think about that, because it does look cool as it is as well. Okay, so now we go for our third in the triad of Dryad Brown. Just for the, because we're overpainting some of this compared to what we used to. The Guru. No, that doesn't work for me. Just work for you, Rich. Okay. So we do the guy on the floor's hair, and this gets a different brown again. It looks quite cool on miniatures if you keep using all the different browns. I like that a lot. And is I was going to use the leather brown on that one, which that one in it, which is the bootstrap. The other thing that's nice about these, that if they do take a second or two to dry, so if you're quick, you can grab the next highlight and then go straight in with it, and you're kind of doing your wet blending, which makes your blends even smoother, which is good. Okay, let's go for Dragon Red. Dragon Red is a vivid purplish red. It's actually closer to the old pure red than the new pure red, I think. So we just thinned it a little bit with the medium, just so it runs nice. It all runs a little bit nicer with a little drop of medium in it. And then once it's on the wet palette, it seems to pick up what it needs, which is nice. There we go. Just for a bit of an interesting different colour. Okay, let's go for the next in the greens. So we had Angel Green, didn't we, for his tunic. So the next one up on is Guardian Green. Again, I'm going to thin it out with our medium. So brush out, go back in. And we're just looking at these raised areas. You see how thin that green is? As you thin it out, it helps the paint underneath. See, it's gone into the groove, then I don't want it in there, so I'll wash my brush out. That's where we've got it quite thin. Wash and brush out and wick it out a little bit like we did with the tone. So now we're getting a bit strong, we can start building it up. So that the dark angel green, sorry, the angel green, the dark one, we're leaving right into the recesses and into the corners. This one we're starting to build up on the higher flat areas. There we go. We're just using a bit. We let that medium work in. Now the wet palette's got our back. So again, we're not going to go right into the recesses. We're going to leave the dark green in there. Remember, we've already toned this down. So again, don't go right into that edge. This is just where the sunlight or light source is just making the material look a little bit lighter. We're going to put a few checks over this. We're not going to go full tartan because these are too early. But I like to do some checks to kind of suggest tartan. When was the full tartan, Rich? Mr. Factoid. Factoid Rich. When did they start using proper tartan? So it's modern tartan, I suppose, is probably. So we're just leaving. We're not going underneath the arm. We're going to leave that dark under there. We're just going to go around the top and let it wrap around a little bit. There we go. Again, you can leave that to dry, or you can just hit in it again with the next green up. We're just going to hit in with the next green up. So it'd be more or less dry. There we go. Good work, Factoid. Fatman. Oh, I just got to go. Fact guy. The earliest documented tartan-like cloth in Britain, known as the Falkirk tartan, dates from the 3rd century. It was uncovered in Falkirk in Stringshire, Scotland, near the Antonine War, where the first uniform tartan is believed to be 1713. It was not until around the 19th century the patterns were created for specific Scottish clans. Most traditional ones were established between 1815 and 1850, so a lot later. So you haven't got a tartan, I'm afraid, but we're going to give you the look of the origins of tartan. That's how I like to say it. It's like when I do the Picts and when I do some of the Irish as well. So they might have some simple patterns going on because it had to have started somewhere, surely. Right, we're going up to the Triad, which is strong green skin. I've painted a little orc with that and it didn't look great in fairness. But it is a good highlight colour, so we're gonna water it down with our medium again. And all the areas we've just hit with that other green, we're gonna go back in and stay inside those areas. So we're looking for the highest edges. There we go. So obviously that's going to be the lightest because it's right up to the sky, that one. I always imagine my lamp is the sun when I'm doing this. And where is my lamp shining on the miniature? Another way to do it is use your original Xenophore highlight to show you where to put the highlights. Then you're going to have to use very thin paint. Or you can sketch what they call sketch the values, which is another video really, because I don't really paint that way. But it's a really nice way to paint. But see, I'm not going even less further around the arm now. So I'm just doing that top, that one. So that's 3 greens on there. Where it's thin, it's just built up that green. So the whole green effect looks nice and strong now. Right, let's have a look at his cloak. So we started with Tundra Torp. So the next one in the Triad is Prairie Ochre, which is a dark yellowish brown. So let's play with that one. Oh, this one's not been used very much either. I have to give this one a good old shake. So how are we doing? We're an hour in now. That's what we've got for our hour's work so far. Let's have a look at this Prairie Ochre. I didn't quite shake it enough. Just a bit more shaking. Shake it, baby. I can hear the bearings start to move in there. I need just a little bit more shaking, but that'll do. You know, certain colours always get more chunky than others. So get some medium. Well, yeah, this is a lot browner than the first one. We've mixed that around enough, so I'm not going to unpigment it. So start with one of the higher edges, look. Almost like an edge highlight that we did on the belt. And then we're going to just come down the sides a little bit. But we don't want to go right in there. We want to leave that dark where we put that wash in there. Okay, and then so you see the difference between that one and that one? Only just on the camera, I think. Quite a big difference on the in real life, like. So come down the top of there, picking out your highest highlight. They just work down the sides. It's strange, all these I'm getting so many of these now. But I will have them at the tabletop sale. Plug. So if you're at Lincoln Barn tabletop sale, you might have a chance of grabbing one of these as a bargain. There's a couple of weeks yet, I think. So again, down the edge. keep on those high edges. Make sure you don't destroy all the work from the layer before. This is a cool click for shading actually. Well, you've got a lot of pigment there, see? We don't want that there, so I'm going to move it around. So grab some medium, put it on there, and we're just going to move it around to where we want it. There we go. If you keep that nice and thin, you can really work at it. Little at a time. Working thin layers, let it build up. And give your shadows much more realism, I suppose. Like the dog sound effect that I've been playing. Oh, I think so. I was planning. I got to speak to the beasties. I'm not sure if they. I think it's BritCon that they were sent to do. But I was hoping to get to Partisan as well. Let's see if I can get a little table for that one as well. Which is cool. Okay, so yeah, you can see we've done quite a bit of shading there. So let's go for the next one up, which is stay on the right one. So that was Torp, ochre. The next one up is desert yellow. Let's make sure the book. I've not popped the lids off any of these yet, but I know the speed paints. And sometimes they block it. What's happened is the bearings fallen into the nozzle, and you press it harder, and you just pop the lid off. And I think I did it on camera. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll give the beasties a shout and see what's going on. So I know they've got demo games to fit in. Yeah. So I've just thinned that desert brown down at it, and I'm just gonna catch the highest of the edges. It's as light as the air is going. But it's kind of really, that coat's really grooving now. So a little bit on the edge of there. Where it's thin, it's almost like magically getting lighter without actually changing the colour, which is what we want it to do. They're really nice for blending these paints. I'm really enjoying them. Okay, I think that's the greens. I'm happy with those at that level. So let's do a little bit more flesh. So at the moment we've gone up to agate skin. So we started off with moonstone or moonshade, whatever it is, moonstone skin. We're going to agate skin, which is the next one up. And we've done the Crusader speed paint as a wash. So again, we're gonna get our medium and water that down a bit. And we just, it's quite a lot lighter because we've got that tone on it, so it's pretty cool. So again, we're just looking like we did on the green. We want to leave all that we've done in those recesses, and just to hit the highs. So that worked really well on his back there. So I'm just going to go and strengthen up those along the edge there. There we go. So again, on his leglet, nice and thin, top of his knee, not right up underneath his tunic, because obviously there's going to be some shade from that. Leave his didn't round his knee. It's almost, if you get a massive change all in one go, is when you want to stop and water it down a little bit, because that's when you get a really big jump in your blend. So just get a little bit of medium on there, thin it out a bit, move the paint around. You could use paint retardant if you wanted to. I think it comes with it, to be honest. I'll have to have a look. Again, that means your drying time's going to extend. This light colour, we're just going to go across the top of his hand where the light's on board. I would, honestly, mate, I promise you, I tested it the other day, the medium I mix against the army painter one, and they're nigh on the same. So Rich, have you not got any medium? This is a bit rare. No, because you haven't done the video. Although I've noticed as well, because I tested them, these paints actually, you can water them down with just water. I still think medium's better, but there's so much pigment in them already. The do work. So on his face there, I just went cheekbones and his lip. I'm just going to add a little bit more to these guys. We don't want to add too much flesh to them because they'll start looking healthy. Okay, again, you could have just chopped them off, so they could be quite fresh. Okay, so we need a different colour for the guy on the floor, because otherwise it's going to look boring, isn't it? So we give him, I think we'll give him a blue shirt. Let's get a good blue. Let's start with Imperial Navy. It's a very deep blue. Okay. Yeah, I tend to use gallons of the stuff, in fairness. That's the only reason I probably shy away from buying the army paint one, because where I use quantities of the stuff, it would yeah, I'm just thinning that blue down. And you can really see on this blue as I'm thinning it that you can see the undercoat Zenithal highlights really working for us there. So we're going to get a real nice, we're going to get some free shading. So let's do it there. So we'll wash the brush out, just wick it out of those bits. Doesn't really matter anyway, because we're going to get some blood and stuff in there anyway. Some little bit more, just to, that blue is still very thin that I've just used, but I'm just gonna run it into the recesses a bit, and I just washed the brush out, just wick it around, move it around where it's still nice and wet. That's because I've got the medium going on there. Just where it's thinner, it's taking a, where it's waterier. So that's not a word. Evening, Gary. Just as I've made a new word up, I think. Waterier. I don't think that's a word. Waterier? No, I think. Okay, we're moving along. We'll get some more flesh tones, so we're going to go to barbarian flesh. This is going to be barbarian flesh for a bit more highlights. We're going to do cheekbones. Not water this down as much because I want just little dabs of it. This one. It's okay. Yeah, it's good stuff. I do prefer my own mixture, but it's that Instar stuff's very good, and it's a good price as well for what you get. I like Instar paint. But for me, I I'm terrible at keeping records and stuff. And if you're one of my friends, will write the recipes of all his paints down, which is amazing. He's got these books and books of everything. If he paints, he writes down. Can't do it. I really can't. So when I'm got a commission and I've painted so many blah blahs, and somebody says, "Oh, can you paint me 20 more?" I need the consistency of colour to go back and paint some that match in. And it's so much easier if I can just go, "Ah, yeah, they're dragon red," or they're blah blah blah, rather than having to mix. So it's not a slight on the Instar paints at all, because they're very, very good. And he's very good as well. When I ordered some a while back now, I messaged him and he messaged straight back. So he's a good guy doing a decent job. What was one I really liked? There was a rust coloured one. Really, really good. So yeah, just go back over with that barbarian. We're just going to touch in the top. It's going to be as high as we're going to push our highlights on these guys. Say we're just painting for like tabletop, so even though these are our warlords, so we're putting a bit more jizz into them. Jizz. I said jizz. Okay. So yeah, that's cool. Now let's find a trouser colour. I'm thinking of a, yeah, oh, you've got yellowy brown there. Don't want red. Let's give him some grey trousers. Deep grey. Just trying to give some different colour variations so they won't kind of clash, if you know what I mean. Not clash, blend. I don't want them all to blend together. So these are lots of earthy greens and browns. So this go on the floor to look a little different. So I'm just watering that down with the matte medium again. You get very good coverage with these. You have to put quite a bit of your medium with them to thin them. And get a bit thinner around these areas. So just letting it thin a little bit around there so it shows through a bit. And we've got a stronger grey there because it's in the light. There we go. Nice. That gives us a nice contrast between the grey and the green there. So next we want to find a good colour for that beard. I'm thinking let's go orange. We're going to go molten lava. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. Let's ginger him up. So molten lava, thin a lot. Otherwise he's going to have a nuclear beard. We're thinning it right out, so we're going to come back in with this with a wash as well. So You can see the grey from the undercoat is showing through. There we go. We'll let that dry for a bit. There's another good colour for that, dry rust. It's really, really good for ginger beards and stuff like that. If I want to mess around with it. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the bottom of his cloak. Let's get some beige on that, shall we? Some brain. No, let's go one down. Let's go for worn stone. Pale olive grey. So we can put this on, and then we can put a little wash into it, and then we can highlight it back out again if we want to. There we go. Thinned a little bit with a little bit of medium in my brush. We're on top of 1 hour 23 we're on. I think we're doing alright. There we go. Just letting a little bit of medium into that. That's where you can still see some of the undercoat through it. It's going to glow up on my light. So this is what is it? Worn stone. Yeah, worn stone. Pale olive grey, so it looks quite creamy colour. And it's come over this my Zenithal undercoat. I'm just going to put a little bit under there. I'm one of these guys that paints the bottom of tanks and stuff and then glues them to a base. I can't bear the thought of it not being painted. There we go. He's starting to look quite posh, isn't he? You see his beard now, look, it's toned down a little bit where we use it quite thin. So we're just going to get a little bit more. And just, we don't want too much on there. So you're looking for like the edges of stuff. It looks quite bright at the moment, but as it dries, it will blend back down again. go. Let's leave that to dry again. So we don't want to go solid with it because you don't want a solid orange beard because it just looks crazy. So yeah, so as you can see, we'll leave that to dry for a sec. Leaving lots to dry for a sec. So let's go. I'm going to go up another tone of flesh on the, especially on these heads and stuff. So they start looking a little paler. This is ruby skin. It's probably a little bit red, to be honest. I should swap to a different one, but just the nose and the top of the eyebrows. I'm going to probably put another wash on. Just a little line of this lighter flesh on that massive cut on his back there. Just to make it stick out. A bit around his knee. So I'm just sort of stippling this on with the brush, just letting a little bit of paint, just so the brush only just touches down. Just a little bit on his cheek, so a little tiny. Too much paint there, okay. If you've got too much paint on your brush, you probably have. So just dab it down back onto your palette. There we go. Just like his knuckles a little bit there. There we go. His fingertips. Okay, let's see. Isn't that black tone dried out? No. Not the black one. That's the black one there. So put some of our medium into it. A bit more. There we go. It's a bit thinner. I'm just going to use it on that grey. There we go. A bit thinner again. Just a quick way for us to make some nice shading without having to put too much work into it. I mean, the guy's lying on the floor. He's taking a right whack to the back. I think that's the best way to describe that. A bit of a whap caplet. Okay, we're going to get some blue tone. Yeah, so I started writing a list of for that idea of the so the pirates' hidden treasury kind of idea. So sort of finding neat miniatures like this to paint. And the Beastie Boys said they'd give us some cheat codes for them and stuff, which would be cool. Not finalised this stuff yet, but it's in the pipeline, which is cool. Okay, let's do some eyeballs, because we like doing those. Let's get some matte white. You could use the, like Karen does, and use an off-white. A lot of people don't like using the bright white, but I kind of do, so hey, I'm painting this one. Anybody got any games going this weekend? Haha. Doing some gaming. Just a bit of medium, bit of white. Take the white out of your brush so it's nice and flat. Lock your hand on your desk. Got some super nice big flat eyes to paint. There we go. You can choose whether these guys have got their eyes open or closed. Let's have them open, shall we? Paint the eyeballs in. That'd be. I always think it's funny. Well, I bought a new set of rules. I need to find someone that likes 3D printing. Because I need me some spaceships. I always wanted the box of Battlefleet Gothic. Two Games Workshop ones I missed that I really wanted at the time, but was financially just couldn't do it. Was Man of War and Battlefleet Gothic, and I've just picked up these rules for Amazon. Void Admiral. Check him out. He's the Void Admiral by Paul Banduck. Really like the rules. So now I need some ships. Da, da, da. I noticed on Thingiverse there was like loads of ships to print out and stuff. I don't know what scale the Battlefleet Gothic ones were. Are they 1/300? I don't know. They're kind of that sort of. So they're about 60 mil, some of them, aren't they? So I'm hoping to pick some up. So I can fly my spaceships around. There we go. So we're just that moment of madness. So we're just using our black. A little dot there, a little dot there. Remember, don't try and paint dead center. Always paint off center with one and then try and match the other one up. If you try and paint dead center, you end up with them either being boss-eyed or it looking a little bit like a fried egg. Sometimes when I do the when they've had their heads chopped off, I put them going different ways and stuff, just because it's funny. Oh, he's got dead stare, that guy over there. I think there's some going back to Void Admiral. There's some tokens in the book I think you can copy and cut out and stuff, but it's not the same, is it? It's just not the same. Oh no, the other set of rules that I must say my friend bought me is Dead Heat, the game of professional zombie racing. Again, there's a chart, there's tokens and that to cut out, but I'm gonna have to do some zombies. Yeah, I did think of looking. I was gonna look there, and then I ran out of time, so I'm gonna have to I had a quick look on Thingiverse because my brother-in-law does 3D printing, but he does the stuff with the filaments, not the resin. And of course, the ships need that. Yeah, zombie racing. You have to come and have a zombie race. I think there's supposedly going to be a zombie race at Beast Towers once I built the racetrack and the zombies. Allegedly. I'm not sure if I have to go allegedly on that one, but I will. Okay, so this guy in here needs a different hair colour. Yeah. Let's go. Let's just grab one of these browns we got kicking around. So I just don't want it to match with that brown, so... Oh, excuse me. So let's go with that leather brown, shall we? Okay. You're really getting there now, that. Do, do, do. Come on and do the conga. I think that's what he's doing. He's doing like the Scottish conga. Yes. Yes. Yes, they have. And an old one. What was it? Holy Knights or something. Oh, God. I can't remember. Yes. He's sculpting some trolls at the moment, isn't he, Colin? They are good fun to paint, like not miniatures. Soldiers of God. Thank you, Mr. Factoid. Mr. Fact. The Fact Man. Shining silver. We're just going to pick some highlights out on his chainmail. It's an old game, Soldiers of God. I didn't play it or anything, but it's only in a PDF form. Let's get a rubbishy brush. And it's the latest sword point. The Roman ones you can get on Amazon on a PDF or a print to order thing. Yeah, that Void Admiral, £6. I thought that was amazing value. So going to get some ships and so going to talk Darren into being blown up in space. So with the silver light, I'm just going to get it around the edges. Anywhere we want the metal to look a little bit shinier. There we go. It's almost like not quite a dry brush, more like an over brush. So hitting the edge of that axlet, like we did earlier with the belt. Just edge highlight it, and the edge of the axlet looks sharp. And leave the rest dark. Maybe a little tiny bit in there. Even like dot it until it's scratched. Etched. That's a good way. And load up silver again. Then take most of it out of your brush. And just gently stipple different areas of that chainmail so it looks a little bit shiny and different. Don't go mad, because if you do too much, you just paint it all silver. Less is more on this highlight. There we go. And I've got my special flesh that I mixed up. It's a mixture of the old army painted flesh and what else is in there? Reichland shade is in there, and some of my medium. I'm just going to pop this on the gold, just to give it that sort of tarnished look. And if you take some of it out your brush, you can just use it round their eyes, maybe the mouth, not everywhere, just around the edges of it all. You don't want to wreck all of our blends. He says as he knows he's going to splatter it all with blood once it's just use some of the hands to pick some of that detail back out, and around the wrist where it's a bit more picky with this shade than we usually are. So just where we're getting shadow basically, so around the edge of the face, look, just pick a bit around the, just to make the shadow of the helmet around his mouth, look. A little bit drift into the beard just to tone it down just a little. There we go. Maybe just round there, and we can even put some on that belt because it's got a little bit of this flesh has got a little bit of a red base to it, so you can happily drop it onto that leathery look stuff, just to give it a bit of interest, really. I'll just do around the top of his shoe, I think, and there we go. A bit round. Just border everything, you know. Okay, so let's have a look what we got. Next, we'll be doing some detailing. Well, let's sort out his tassely bits. So they do a soft tone, but they also do a light tone. The light tone is like a sepia based one. So what we're going to do is we hit the light tone, need a little bit of it. I'm going to take a brush of medium. We're just going to run it into those tassels. Don't panic about it looking a bit heavy at the moment, because we're just going to lay this in there and then we're going to sort it out. So say that's just one drop out of the bottle and the medium, so it's quite thin anyway. Let's put some in his hair. One waste not, one not. It's really good, this light tone, because you can sort of dash it about and it doesn't really, it's not strong enough to really change something's colour, but it's strong enough to blend stuff. Okay, so we're going back into these tassels now, so wash the brush out and we're just going to run it along the top, so it just slurps a bit off the top of the, you see that? So we're just cleaning off the top of those tassels, so all that lovely wash, we just, let's put some around his boot. There we go. A bit more on his boots. Let's stuff some in his hair. There we go. Let's work around the miniature. It's good stuff. There we go. Right. So that's the main part of the miniature done. So next we're going to we're going to do some lines and some checks on his stuff. Although you could leave it there if you like that look. He does look pretty. Let's see if I can shade him a bit. There we go. There's a bit of wash just mucking his eye up a little bit. There we go. There must be a slight dint just under where his eye is, and it was just had a little bit too much wash in there. Okay, so let's think how we gonna do. We want it to look yellow red. I was looking at the Stuart heart earlier, so we can do yellow red, nice and thin. So let's use our Psycho brush. We have that red area, so we're going to thin that right out with our medium, and we're going to paint some really nice thin red line. That way. We're going to have one going round. So you thin that red right out so it runs off your brush nice. Then the lighter you touch, the thinner your line's going to be. And the more the dog will snore. Allegedly. Keep that medium in there. These little brushes can dry out real quick. Checking that right up actually, because it does look pretty cool. Yeah, let's do that. So leave that one line across the bottom. Nice big gaps. We're not gonna strengthen up too much because we just want a hint of a very basic tartan going on. When in fairness, they're yours, so I mean if you want, go knock yourself out. Just go full tartan on it. That's the thing with Saga, it's more fantasy than historical anyway, so no one can tell you you're wrong. They're your miniatures. Do what you like. So we're going to go these into nice chunky squares. Well, I hope I'm staying on camera, sorry guys. See, we've gone nice and thin, and we've got using thin paint. It's not too mad, is it? That is running real nice, that red. dog seemed impressed. He decided to drink a muddy puddle before we came back. He proudly stood in the middle of this mud patch and come running over to me. He looked like Arnie out of the Predator when he's hidden in the mud wall. You can see his mouth just all mud. Nice. So this is all about getting the paint consistency right, so nice and watery. Only letting that brush touch down nice and light, which is all about just practicing. I practice a lot, in fairness, but I always have to practice more. Always more. There's always room for improvement. Always. I think locking your hands and stuff off is important as well. So as you see, my left hand is just nailed to the edge of my desk. And then when I get some really tight spaces, right finger against the miniature base. Ahoy, Kevin! Just make them into nice big squares again. Bit much paint there. Again, as earlier, if you think there's too much paint in there, there probably is. Don't chance it. Reset. Go again. Okay, that's my red checks. I bet you know they only just about show up. I've done them so light, but that's what I thought would look cool. Because what we're going to do then is we're going to get this bright yellow. Yeah, Kev, the new paints are very good. I like them a lot. Had the normal worries when I was swapping over originally. You get your favourite paints, then so you think, oh my god, I'm never going to get them to work like that again. But after working now with them for a few weeks, really like them, and I think it's encouraging me to use different colours, which is always good. It's good to try new stuff and break yourself out of habits every so often. So now we're going to make this look a bit more like tartan. We're going to come down one side, so I'm going to come down the left hand side of all ones coming down. Using just the tip of the brush. Nice light touch. It doesn't even matter if you don't get the complete line, as long as you've got enough of the line to suggest that it's a line, it'll work. Yeah, I played with the some of the specialist paints as well, like the blood and the gore one this afternoon on some zombies that I was painting, and wow, they're really good. There's one called something Vomit or something that was really, really kind of cool. And the rest effects are good. So yeah. I can't really say much more about them, really. Well, with these, mate, it's just you just there's a few different. There's like a triad of them, so just pick one of the more beigey ones. Put that as a starting. Give yourself a base layer of that. Then do a wash over the top with like a really light wash of brown or a grey, if you like the grey look. And then pick the next white up and highlight away. It's that simple. Or if you don't want to go to that trouble, just paint it white. If you're worried about coverage, you could start it with a grey. Or, controversially, pink. White loves going over the top of pink. So just run in. So we're not going to go full on tartan, but this is going to suggest where tartan came from. A little bit too much on there, I just saw that you just use your finger quick just to rub it out. So there we go, that's his green tunic doing a tartan impression. Yeah, Sky grey would be good. And then you can do white over the top of that. That's going to give you quite a harsh blend though. I would tend to paint it with a cheers dude. I was going to put some checks on the cape as well, but I kind of like it like that with contrast from the tunic, so I'm not going to. So I'm just going to fart around with the tassels a bit. And I'm going to just grab a bit of pure white. I'm just going to gently, like we did earlier on with that edge highlighting, I'm just going to do that. And this, you don't want your paint runny for this because it'll run down the gaps. So just enough to just mix enough of that medium just so the white will run off your brush. It's almost like a dry brush. Somewhere between a dry brush and an edge highlight like that. Just don't put too much on your brush. There we go. So that's the basic done. So next, really, all that's left to do is put some the effect paints on. Well, let's put some more blue because I didn't put any more blue in that. So let's grab some Regal blue. We got 2 hours 4 minutes, and we're really just now just farting around with it, really. I can't really show the putting the blood effects on because you need to do them after you've lacquered. Because they're gloss based, you just lacquer them and it kills them. So there you go. Just picking out those highlights with the Regal blue. And I think that will do. I'm not happy with that wood. Let's put the next one's Fur Brown. Let's just put some little lines in it with Fur Brown. Which is the next one from Dryad. So again, we're going to thin it a little bit. Take most out, and I just want to run down, painting little lines. That's all right with the dog. I'm sorry I'm boring you, dog. That's better. That's a bit more interesting. There we go. There we go. That's better. Let's just show you some of this this blood. There's two. There's a dry blood and true blood. Now, GW done Blood for a Blood God, and the last incarnation of this paint from Army Painter was a bit pants. Well, it was pants. This True Blood is fine. It's really good. So let's put a little bit out. You put it on your finger, it does actually look like you've cut yourself. Look. Is that good? But you can do other cool things with it. It's like you can dot it around so it looks like it's splattered, or you can flick it on the end of your brush. Or you can drag it like that so it looks like it's been across a weapon. There we go. So I'll do this, and I know I have to do it again because the so I'm just going to paint it into that cut, and I'm going to load it down the bottom. And give it a nice pool of blood there. Very, 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 very good. And we're just gonna I'm gonna have to sort it out again once I've lacquered. That's all right. It's good if you can get a big blob of it on your brush. He's been dripped on by his mates. That then if you take it down so you've not got much in the brush, right, and then start on the edge of the weapon and then just drag it across quick. There we go. It looks like it's chopped through something. So I'll show you that again. So you load the brush up, take most of it out, and then just quickly drag back. There we go. Yes. Put some random blood in there as well. He's had a right time of it on the floor, and he. So the ones, the edge, you can actually walk this down if you want to. Just do it around. And you can actually flick it as well if you get... or you sometimes cut one of these brushes down, but the bigger ones. Just cut them there. And then you can dip that in and flick it with your thumb or flick it with the back of a craft knife. And you get the blood splatters everywhere. I won't bother with this one, but I'm just going to stipple it in with a let's make sure the bottom of this is already glued to it. There we go. I'm just going to add a bit more to that cut. It's got quite a nasty cut. So you could splatter all over, but we're not going to ruin the paint job by doing that. Because we're grown-ups. But we've got plenty left on the palette, so we might as well put quite a bit around the base. for effect like. Alright. So add blood as required. Let's paint the black around the bottom. It's our victory lap. I can't remember what video I watched. So it says a victory lap. And I thought, that's brilliant. I'm swiping that. So if I've stolen it off your video, sorry, whoever it was. But you're right, it's the victory lap. And when I see, when I catch it again, I will give you credit for it. I'm not taking credit, but it's going to be one more things I'm going to say. Time to do the victory lap. So what I'll do is in the morning, I shall lacquer that. No shield to do. Let's put that black away. That's the one I mix up myself. So let's have a look and see if we can see this better. There we go. That's our Scottish warlord. I'm very tempted to put the crosses on the cloak as well, but I shall hold fire on that. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, it's very, very gory. So yeah, I will lacquer him in the morning when it's all dry and resort the blood out. It's not a problem, to be honest, if I can resort it with a bit of gloss lacquer, but I've now messed up my black. I'll sort that out in a minute. Right, so that was, if you managed to stay to the end, congratulations. The Scots Warlord B, SS10 SS01B is the code on this, and it's, I believe, £3.50, but I'm not sure if that's the saga version or whether that's the normal version without the base. It might be through 50 without the base, £4 with the base. Double check. But even at £4, I think that's a hell of a miniature. I've enjoyed painting it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint it, and I hope you'll track it down tomorrow on Facebook, X, or Blue Sky. And again, thanks for joining me. If you're joining me tomorrow on Watchback, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, that sort of cool stuff. Cheers, Kubler. Yeah, have a really good weekend, guys. And yeah, I'm going to cut you all loose now. And let's see if we can keep those subscriptions going. Hey. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Cheers, then. Good night. Have a great weekend.